Hi everyone and welcome back. In my opinion, this new US women's national team roster is one of the most bold moves from US soccer in years. One of my most recent videos was about fan diagnoses of what's going on with the team. Seems like coaches have heard it all at this point and have made some pretty big changes for the new training camp roster. Because US soccer seems to be turning over this new leaf, I thought it's fitting that it comes out with a new, fresh logo. So in today's video, we'll talk about what stands out about this team and my inspiration for my version of what this logo would look like. Watch till the end for the final reveal. Let's get into it. I think the first thing that stood out to me was the comparison between this roster with the World Cup roster just a few months ago. 10 players from the summer's World Cup team were not included on it, and those were not just substitutes like Christy Mewis and Ashley Sanchez, but they were starters who were integral parts of the team like Alex Morgan, Crystal Dunn, Alyssa Nair, Andy Sullivan, who are not going to be in that December training camp and probably not going to be playing in those friendlies in December. So who is making up this team? Well, I classify them in four main parts. The first are the regulars. Those are like Sophia Smith, Alyssa Thompson, Trinity Rodman, Emily Fox, all part of the World Cup squad who still fit within this camp's mission of trying to find the fit of young players within this team. The second are players who would have added a lot of depth to the World Cup squad but were injured during that time, like Midge Purce and Abby Dahlkemper, who are now going to be phased back onto the team through this camp. The third is the massive infusion of young players. If we look to the roster, 11 players have fewer than 5 caps, which is a really significant number, and many of them are young players. Corbin Albert and Jenna Neiswanger are both uncapped joining this squad. We also have Olivia Moultrie just joining back, and then we have Mia Fishel and Jaden Shaw, who had a great showing in that second game against Colombia, but don't have very much experience with the squad. But then lastly, we also have players that are not technically young, but could add a fresh perspective and are deserving of another call-up. For example, Jane Campbell hasn't been called up since 2021, but she's an example. Isn't particularly young, but she's had a phenomenal and record-breaking season with Houston Dash and was NWSL Goalkeeper of the Year. They're taking another chance on her. She's replaced Nair at this camp, and she could definitely now have the stage to prove herself at a national level. This is especially important with the 2024 Paris Olympics coming up. It's unfortunate that Emma Hayes, who's going to be the new coach, couldn't start immediately and will only have 2 camps before the Olympics. But the interim coach, Kilgore, mentioned that they collaborated on this roster, so it's giving us a pretty good idea of the direction she would want to take the team. Kilgore also said that as we move forward with the next steps, we need more opportunities to see players from our pool in our unique national team environment in both training and games so we can evaluate if and how they might contribute moving forward into the Olympics. But she's also said that nobody is out of consideration, which means that players who are left out of this team's roster are still in the mix for the 2024 Olympic team. The camp is just more of an opportunity for learning and evaluation and giving opportunities for new players to prove themselves. And I'm excited to see which players rise to the occasion, and the integration of our experienced and new squads will hopefully lead to a successful Olympics team. Lastly, as I mentioned in the beginning, I want to share my new logo with you. Throughout the video, we've talked about the changes we've seen in the squad. In many ways, we're still sticking to our guns and doing what's historically made America successful. But we've also added fresh options to the team and seriously committed to investing in the future of the squad. I think my logo over here takes these things into account. I've added a fresh take on how the elements are displayed on the logo from the current one over here, but I've even added something additional to the traditional flag, another quintessentially American element, the bald eagle. Lastly, there's something pretty out of the box, a common social media symbol, the verified badge. I think it's something that represents this modern generation. And the verified badge represents authenticity, which I personally believe means that however much this team changes and morphs, it still has an authentic identity it will always be known for. Anyways, thank you so much for checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed my commentary on the new roster as well as my new logo. I'd love to hear your thoughts on both down below, and I'll see you next time.